Women's IT World. Women's IT World. Women's IT World.
Welcome to episode 7 of season 5 from the Women's IP World Annual Podcast, a podcast series that's shining a spotlight on women and intellectual property. I'm your host, Michele Katz, and I'm the co-founding partner of the law firm Advitam IP, which in Latin means intellectual property for life. We are based out of the US in Chicago. Me and my firm are hosting this podcast on behalf of Northlands Media PR and Marketing Limited, based out of the UK and London. They are the publishers of the Women's IP World Annual and the Global IP Matrix magazine. You can find the 2025 edition of the Women's IP World Annual online at www.womensipworld.com. Again, that's www.womensipworld.com. And you can listen to the annual as well on your favorite podcast app. If a hard copy is more your thing, grab one at the Northlands Media booth at most major IP conferences worldwide. It is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Shweta Singh, founder and CEO of Ennoble IP in India. Thank you for joining, Shweta.
Thank you, Michelle, for inviting me here.
So I know there is a doctor in front of your name. So can you please tell us what your doctor expertise is?
So, my doctor expertise is in law and management. And I would say, I'm very much passionate about intellectual property field since my graduation days. So, my father wanted me to become doctor, actually, doctor, medicine doctor, I
Like
would say.
medical doctor. Got it.
Yeah, medical doctor. But somehow I didn't crack the exam and I got inclined toward biotechnology. And during my graduation day in biotech, I encountered with this subject of patent, and I developed a keen interest in the patent because this was something aligned with my personality where I get so I have a very people say it is people can call it a weakness, but I say it's a strength. I I cannot live a monotonous life, so I cannot live a monotonous do a monotonous job also. So basically, then I when I encountered patent as a subject, I found out that this is something where I can get to encounter on a daily basis different projects, different inventions, different ideas, and I will be revolving around the technology. And that's how I landed into IP, and then I had to take this IP, my education in this field. So the I come from a background, Michelle, where education, resilience, and integrity were always non-negotiable values. And I would say I started my journey started at the intersection of science, law, and innovation. Early on, I realized that great ideas often fail, not because they lack brilliance, but because they lack structure, protection, and strategic direction. And this is how I landed into IP, and then I made it till post graduation and then into doctorate.
Well, I am sure that your parents are very proud of you, even though you did not become a medical doctor, and you still get to put doctor in front of your name. So that in itself was brilliant. Okay, you get to do what you're actually passionate about, and still, please the parents. I understand that. So, in India, what city are you in?
So I am in Noida. It's near Delhi. It's called National Capital Region, NCR region.
Ah, okay. So, did you study, or are you born and raised there, and you did your studies there?
No, so I'm born in a very small town in Uttar Pradesh, India. It's called Jaunpur, and I was raised there only till my post graduation. I'm double masters, double post graduation. The first post graduation was from my hometown, Jaunpur, and I come from a very humble background. My father is a retired professor, mother is a homemaker, and as you rightly mentioned, they're very proud now. My dad just I did my doctorate because of of my dad, because he said, see, I have three daughters and I wanted to see doctor in front of all the names. And that time I was getting pissed that I started my business, why I should pursue PhD and doctorate. But now, Michelle, when people call me Dr. Shweta, I always go back and give thanks to my dad, because it was only him who pushed me to do this degree, I would say.
I know, as a young person, right?
Yeah,
We kind of begrudgingly do things, but in the end, we're thankful, right?
yeah.
So that's wonderful. So you had already had your degree, and then you went for your, is it PhD? I mean, is that the equivalent in India? So you had your undergrad degree, or can you take us, like, how does that work in India? How did the doctor name then get associated with your name?
So in India, it's like after graduation, you cannot do your PhD or doctorate degree. You need to have post graduation for that, and or 4 years graduation, like BTech engineering 4 year program. Or because I was bachelor's in science and then master's in biotechnology, so I had to go through one exam which is called a net exam, and I got selected in net exam, and then you do the PhD. So you have to select a college. If you are qualified through this net, then you have to select a college. So I got through a government university called Jivaji Gwalior University, and from there I did my doctorate. So it's not that after graduation you can enter into doctorate, but you have to have your post graduation degree. And it should not be a online degree, it should be a regular degree program. You have to go to college daily, and you have to be fulfilling your complete post graduation criterias, and you should have more than 65% marks in that, then you qualify for this exam. Once you qualify the net exam, you select a college. I selected government university. And then it takes some time, 4 year 5 year, but in my case it took 8 years to complete doctorate, because I started my business in between. And
I see.
after getting the selection, you have to do 6 months coursework also, mandatory coursework. So I did that coursework when uh, uh, I think that time I was doing job with one of the leading universities as a professor there. So I completed my coursework, and then after that they call the guide calls, or the university calls you timely manner to submit your reports and all. But I took 8 years just because I started my business, and I almost halted my PhD. And that's why I give all thanks to my dad, because he insisted me, don't drop it when you are half your way. You just have to give your final exam and submit your thesis, and just you then you there will be a doctor in front of your name, and you are intelligent enough to do that. So I just completed it after that. So I took it long because I started my business, and my more focus was developing my business.
No, understood. I mean, that's very rigorous and a lot of determination, I have to say, Shweta, to to
Thank
to
you.
go through all that. So I have to ask, with your sisters, did they also get doctors of some kind?
Uh, so my elder sister, so in India, elder sister we call Didi. So my elder sister, she is a dentist. She has done her BDS and MDS from top
Okay.
university of India. It's called KGMC Medical University, Lucknow.
Okay.
So she is right now in Virginia practicing as a dentist there. And my younger one, she did her PhD, a doctorate from South Korea. She is a master's in physics, and her complete research is into nanotechnology.
Wow, smart cookies. Very,
Yes.
very smart cookies. Okay, so well, first of all, because you didn't choose a name for your firm that's Singh, your last name. How did you come up with Ennoble IP?
So it's a very I would say it's again a story, because when I started my firm, I'm very particular about names, and if you read Indian culture, right, in India it's very important to the name should have some wonderful meaning. So when I thought I will because I was not developing a business, and I was not of a mindset that I will develop it tomorrow, today, tomorrow I will change. Actually want to build a legacy out of it. So I wanted a very different name. name. And while doing my research, Michelle, you will not believe I took 6 months to come up with a name Ennoble, because Ennoble means you're doing something for noble cause. So this is how I developed this, because my focus was to develop the literacy education of IP in India among the startups, universities, and SMEs, because they were my niche focus that time. Until they are my niche focus. So this is how I developed. I came across with the name of Ennoble, because IP, because I'm into intellectual property profession, but Ennoble means you're doing something for noble cause. So this is how I came.
So, you're kind of a unicorn. I feel that way too sometimes because my law firm is Advitam IP. It's not Katz and Gurak or Gurak and Katz, which is my partner. And
Yeah.
we too, I remember when we did our like a brainstorming session, just writing names down and thinking about the names and what they mean. And it did take us some time as well. But then once we locked into our current name, which is Latin, that's our legal roots here in the United States, come from common law,
Yeah.
that we would choose a Latin name. And we wanted a name that was towards the beginning of the alphabet because,
Mhm.
of attending conferences and, being, sponsors and supporting different causes, that our name would then be one of the first: primacy, recency. You remember
Right.
most things that are in the beginning and things that are at the end. That's from my psych background. And
Right.
so we came up with Advitam IP, which is Latin for life, because we were looking for lifetime relationships with our clients, more than just an attorney, but actually a partner in their business to support
All right.
their business goals. So I can definitely connect with you on that. And then it's not easy to find that, your center, but it's great also that's an entrepreneurial, to work with your clients, small, medium, or large. At some
Yes.
point someone was coming up with their marks, right?
Right. I would add, Michelle, here one more thing,
Yeah.
that I don't never wanted to add my name also to this firm, because it's not me, because it's not me, a person who will be driving this organization. Maybe my leadership may be driving, but the people working with me, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Mhm.
they are the main factor or motivation for me, motivation for this firm. So it's not one Singh. There are many. There are Singh, there are Juneja, there are Divedi, there are Pandes, there are Yadav, there are many people, right? There are different
Yes.
caste associated, right? So I don't want it to name across one family name, because there
Mhm.
are hundreds of family involved in developing this business, and
Beautiful.
hundred of minds involved.
Understood. I totally get you. So, okay, we're going to be moving towards your article, but first we're going to take a break,
Yeah.
and then we'll come back to unlocking the power of IP analytics.
Join IP360 Hub and connect with the global IP community. IP360 Hub, the global industry profile guide connecting the global IP community. Be part of IP360 Hub, a global printed handbook and digital networking platform designed to connect intellectual property professionals across jurisdictions. Created for IP lawyers, in-house counsel, law firms, service providers, advisors, and industry partners, IP360 Hub offers a practical and budget-friendly opportunity to increase global visibility and position your organization within the international IP community. The printed handbook will be distributed at more than 60 leading IP conferences and industry events worldwide, placing your brand directly in front of key decision-makers, industry leaders, and potential clients. In addition, participants receive access to the IP360 Community Digital Networking Platform, enabling you to connect, collaborate, and engage with IP professionals globally throughout the year. Listings and participation opportunities are now available starting from £299, making IP360 Hub an accessible and cost-effective way to showcase your expertise, services, and brand within a trusted global IP publication. Be part of IP360 Hub and strengthen your presence within the global IP community. Visit www.ip360hub.com. Email info@ip360hub.com. Phone +44020381300457.
Welcome back. We are going to be talking about your article. The full title is Unlocking the Power of IP Analytics for Strategic Decision Making. And we are strategists, are we not, in our businesses? We For those that want to follow or jot down that Shweta's article starts on page 82. Please do, hard copy or online. Feel free. So, what are IP analytics? Let's start with the basics.
So, see, IP analytics is a very essential means mining patent and IP data into answer business questions, not legal ones. Questions like, are we innovating in the right area? Who is really leading the technology space? Is this market crowded or underexplored? Or are we at risk of infringement or sitting on an opportunity? So it's IP analytics means you are doing a prior art, you are doing FTOs, you are in a very simple and a legal language. Now I'm telling you are doing landscapes, you are doing market
Mhm.
research. So you are answering what questions I told you, three, four questions. You're having the answers. So you have a set of databases where you do these analysis, you get the results, and then manually we do the analysis of it, and these insights directly impact research and development strategies, merger and acquisition decisions, product roadmaps, and even the market entries, I would say.
So, using IP analytics today, with into modern strategy, people are using AI. I mean, you hear AI all the it's like in every conversation I feel like I have lately for a while. So, how do you think generative AI plays a role?
See, Michelle, we are in era of accelerated innovation, right? AI, clean tech, EVs, biotech. Decisions are expensive and mistakes are costlier than ever, I would say, right? And
Hmm.
IP analytics as whole reduces this uncertainty, and it allows businesses to make evidence-based innovation decisions rather than gut-based one. Now, uh, having said this, coming to your exact answer, uh, AI, generative AI, actually plays a very important role in analytics, IP analytics, not all part, but in IP analytics, because manually, if we do the database searching, right, either is para prior art or FTOs, or we do for landscape or market research, we can make mistakes, or we can hinder with the scopes also. But when generative AI comes into picture, it plays a very important role to give off the result or mark up the results, which are very important if we as a human giving the best or the right or the strategic keywords. But when it comes to analyzing those results which the generative AI has given, human brain is required. So when I hear that AI will be replacing human, no, AI cannot replace a human completely, because analysis, interpretation is something which a human can do based on different cases, based on different strategies, or based on different matters which has already taken in the past, and seeing the future prospect. So yes, generative AI and human perspective or human intelligence will go hand in hand. And yes, again, having said this, it is generative AI is very plays very important part in the analytics, IP analytics sector.
So, I'm reading your article. There are references to HEI perspectives. Can you tell us more about that?
So HEIs means higher education institutions, and since when I started Ennoble IP, my main focus was to help startups and universities with
Hmm.
small and medium industries. So I focused mainly on HEIs because see, uh, academics or universities, HEIs, higher education institution, the fresh and the future brain studies there, right? They are the part of future of any nation. They are building the innovation. So it is very important for any higher education institutions to have the knowledge and have the not interpretation exactly, but have the knowledge and execution of intellectual property, either as a subject or as an administration or as a role or as a complete subject, I would say, or as a complete department, to have to guide students and the researchers there, because whatever research comes first comes from the academics. So my main focus was to literate them, to educate them, to aware them that how IP, intellectual property, is important for a nation. If academia's a, I would say academia's grab it, and on a very early days of students progression. So HEIs actually academics actually plays a very important role in nation building, and IP so as IP. So if they both go hand in hand, they have a IP department, they have a technology transfer department, no one can actually can stop the growth of a nation, economic growth of a nation.
That's why I pulled out the HEIs, because I think a lot of us, who may be listening have at one time, maybe currently representing universities, because so much technology, so much research doesn't have to be technology. It could be in the humanities side as well, are coming up with new ideas, new techniques. Um, and that's it's a hotbed for innovation, of course, is at the
Yes.
university levels.
Yes.
Mhm.
And to add to what you said, when we talk actually about IP in higher education institution, the biggest shift is IP is no longer an output of research which they are doing. It has become a strategic instrumental, or I can say it a strategic instrument for institutional growth, ranking, funding, and industry relevance also. And talking about from my article, uh, it looks how if you look how HAIs can move beyond counting patents into actually using IP data to shape their research strategy actually.
And so from what you've learned from, IP analytics, do you turn inward and say, okay, I'm going to use IP analytics for my own purposes too, as a business owner, and to improve, to check the market, what are areas that you should be focusing, because there's plenty of people, whether you own your firm or not, lawyers are basically, even if you're working for a law firm, maybe you're, managing partner, even an associate, at least here, many of us are required to build our own businesses within within the law firm, right? So you have your own book of business within the firm. And so do you recommend for, lawyers, IP lawyers, to be looking at these IP analytics? And if so, what do you recommend for us to focus
Right.
on?
So, not IP analytics, not for our own businesses. It will be more relevant to say the market research for our own businesses. We should actually do the competitive analysis, how different law firms or different KPOs are
Mhm.
working, and what are the best case uses they are doing, or best practices you can say they are following to run their firm. But for all the lawyers, I would say, especially the core law firms who are not much into IP analytics, see, IP analytics is the shift from seeing intellectual property as a legal record to understanding it as a strategic intelligence system, I would say. And
Mhm.
its core that IP analytics uses patent, trademark, designs, and litigation data to reveal pattern about technology evolution, competitive behaviors, risk, and opportunities. So instead of asking that, what do we own, organizations should start asking, what does IP landscape tell us about where to go next? Because see, we all are working for companies or Fortune 500s or SMEs or startups who are looking for a future market, right? So there we need to actually do a good IP landscape or market research to tell them where their technology or where their business models are going next. And I would add here that for decades IP stats was in more into the technical term, but now it has evolved to legal team fields also, R&D, innovation also, and leadership decided in leadership decision making also, I would say. So because whatever data as IP analyst I give, that is moreover for them to take the leaders of the firm to take decision for their product or their processes. And that actually not only involve the product or process decision, but also the revenue decisions, right? So it breaks those silos, it converts IP into decision grade insight that support strategy, not just compliances.
So clearly, technology is moving faster than it ever has, right? As we've
Yes.
seen through time. It just, technology keeps the advancements, the global competition.
Yeah.
How does one, I mean, IP analytics, it's not optional, right? It's like
Yeah.
critical. Everyone
Yeah.
needs to be adopting advanced tools, embedding IP analytics into their strategies, right?
Yeah.
So, are there particular tools that you recommend for whether you're from a corporate perspective, startup, or HEI, like university level perspectives?
Yeah. So before telling the tool, I would add few lines, and then I will tell the tools which I use. I feel it's good. So with IP analytics, actually these organizations, either it's Fortune 500 startups or SMEs, they identify technology trends before they peak. They understand competitor intent, not just activity. They spot white space for the innovation or the products they are developing, technology they are developing. They reduce infringement and investment risk, and prioritize research and development and commercialization efforts. And for the startups, startups use it to avoid blind innovation. For universities, they use it to align research with impact. And the government uses it for innovation policy and national competitiveness. Having said this, there are a number of tools which are very good, but especially the tools which I use, I don't want to do any promotion, but yes, I am very happy using Patsio, Orbit, Questel Orbit, Derwent. So these are the few tools I would say we uses. And for market research, there are n number of paid subscription based tools. For life sciences, there are different tools, but these are the few tools where you get AI plus a human touch. Obviously, you have to put your human brain there, but you get good results to analyze fast.
Yeah, I keep telling people in my world, it's a tool. You have to remember it's a tool. You can't
Tool,
just
yes.
like, we have a saying in our household, 'cause I got a bunch of kids. So I'm like, okay, I trust you, but let's verify that. So it's
Yeah.
trust and verify. That's the world I live in. So I want to thank you, Shweta, for allowing us to shine a spotlight on you and the incredible work you're doing, and letting us into your brain and your career in IP. Do you have maybe a mantra or some words of wisdom to share with us before we sign off?
Uh, so I would say thank you for the opportunity which you and Carlos have given me for this insightful conversation. And my mantra of life is uh, just keep doing your things. Don't give up, because once you don't give up, everything will align in place with time. Believe in God and believe in what you do.
Thank you. Beautiful. To our listeners, please like, follow, share with your friends and colleagues, but also feel free to send comments and questions. Till the next time.
Women's IP World. Women's IP World.
You have been listening to the Women's IP World podcast, hosted by Michele Katz from Advitam IP in Chicago, USA, on behalf of Northlands Media PR and Marketing Limited in the United Kingdom.
Women's IP World.